All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checkered TV. Tonight we are at Talladega Superspeedway here. As always, 75 laps our scheduled distance this evening, and we have a packed house tonight. It looks like 42 drivers that I'm seeing in practice, so we'll see if we've got 42 drivers taking the grid here tonight. But as always, those, like I said, 75 laps the race distance. Fuel mileage should be pretty much a two-stopper on the fuel window. However, there's always that potential for the 3 green, white checkered, so that could open up some opportunity to see maybe drivers have to put a little extra fuel in for their third and final pit stop, so we'll keep an eye on that. And of course, as always, like I said, the 3 green, white checkered attempts, and then of course the 1 fast pair that these drivers may really need to keep a close eye on here tonight, because again, 42 cars here is going to be very, very difficult. A lot of cars here, and I'm saying easily will be one where these guys will want to run 3x3. That being said, though, we're getting tight onto the point standings here because we're getting towards crunch time here. We've got tonight, next week, and then it's already playoff time. So you can see up front, though, Peter DeBorgia coming on strong, taking the points lead, 16 now over Sebastian Marin, and Todd Siebel's tied for second. Then you got Vicente Guerrero, Joseph Morales, Quabi Brooks, Donald Stewart, and Robert Rock right now holding in those top 8 positions. Then you see Dean Wilkinson, though he is only 4 points off, 5 points Jack Walls behind Robert Rock. Then you got Brian Grimm a little further back, William George, Dustin Lamb, and Michael Pegg are top 14. So again, top 8 will be those drivers that advance to that final 4 playoffs. So again, every bonus point going to matter here tonight. Of course, highest climber, pole position, but most importantly, if you can have a 0 incident race, that will give you 5 all important bonus points here tonight. So say drivers finishing up their qualifying laps at the moment, but say just definitely want to make sure we cover the points. And the other thing we don't have here accounted for is drop week. So in the first 8 races, there will be 1 drop week to drop your worst race. We'll be adding that for the drivers to look at after tonight's event. That way they can see where they stand with that 1 drop week, and that could of course play a big role as well. Maybe somebody had 1 really, really bad race and that's dropped them down the running order. They can kind of throw that one away, and that could propel them up into the standings. So little things they can add up and make a big, big difference here tonight. Still got about a minute and a half left in qualifying. So far, looks like about 22 drivers taking part in qualifying. And again, this is one of those things I talk about week in and week out, especially now with a full field like we have here tonight. Like I said, I believe 42 drivers at the moment have put down or are in the server. So again, if you look at some of these drivers, again, you kind of look at the pit lane. If you're in that latter half of the field, you are going to have one of the first entries on pit road. So you can see that yellow cone right there. That's where you got to be down to 15.5 miles an hour there. However, if you choose to start in the back here, say again, kind of based on obviously the top positions week, based on qualifying order, and then from whoever does not qualify on back, from there it's based on your I rating. So if you have a lower I rating, you might be towards the back half of those drivers that do not qualify. And that's going to force you to have to make sure you are completely slow. You don't even have to be under 55 miles an hour at the cone and pretty much be ready for a stop here, because it looks like we may have just 1 pit stall buffer between the entrance of pit road and that first pit stall for whoever starts shotgun here tonight.
I know for a fact that over at Daytona, we watched that podium race. They were about 42, 43 drivers in the server, and they would have to share a pit stall. But I'm not sure here at Talladega. I'm not 100% confirmed on that one.
Yeah, I believe it'd probably still be the normal 43 pit stalls available at a track as big as Talladega. But it's a good point, though. There could be some pit stall sharing. Although, so you can look here from the blimp cam, you look all the way down to the very bottom of the track, and you can see that very bright green pit banner there on the top there. So I believe that is that 40th pit stall. However, the qualifying just has completed here, Matt. So we got to pull up our starting grid for tonight, and that is going to put our pole position with the number 777 of Michael Pegg over Sebastian Marin by 7 thousandths of a second. And then you got Michael Pegg's teammate there, Everett Lane, in third, Gary Slapinski fourth, Zachary Lima in fifth. Then you got J.D. Crowe, Patrick Groover, Cody Nagels, Charles Johnson, Eric Laurie in 10th. Then you got Robert DuPont, Seth Groover in 12th. Continuing again, we're going to have a lot of drivers here to talk about. You got Jack Wallace, Peter DeBorgia, Bud Steele, Todd Merkel, Quabi Brooks, Noel Coers, Derek Gilleray, Nick Manfredi, William George, Michael Spell, Joey Miller, Brandon Briggs, I think a new name, new face to the league here in that 00 in 24th. And then TJ Allen, Joseph Morales, Donald Stewart, Robert Rock, Vicente Guerrero, Alberto Lopez. And so you can see these drivers that did not put down laps for qualifying. Jim Brooks, Brian Grimm, Keith Horner, Jay Hilliard, Bob Fitzgerald, Dan Harrington. But again, this list continues on, Matt. So you get to Dan Harrington, you got James Hickson, Todd Siebels, Dean Wilkinson, Randy Miner, Kevin LaChance, and in 42nd it will be Christopher Trevette. So again, looks like 42 drivers here tonight. As I say,
it's a packed house tonight.
It is quite the packed house. As saying, I'm already getting picked on in YouTube chat saying it's Lima. I don't know. I heard that there's some rumors about this that the Lima naming convention actually was a bit of a joke from a certain Steve Korosik that went with the Lima spelling or pronunciation, I should say, instead of Lima. So I clarified. I went back there and was like, hey, I want to double check this. He's like, yeah, it's actually Lima. So I'll probably bounce back and forth on this one, but you see the field starting to roll off here though, Matt. So again, 75 laps, packed house tonight, 42 drivers here. That's going to make, again, we talk about points. A bad race here could drop you well down the running order this evening.
Yeah, one bad race from these top guys, it's really going to hurt them in the points. But like you said, they have that drop week. Maybe they have one bad race already in the bank. These drivers are going to have to keep it clean.
Yeah, exactly right. And so might be Steve in the chat. So definitely appreciate you, potential Steve. I say definitely it's been a lot of fun having you in the races, but definitely miss you on track. I say, but I won't give out too much info. But we've been plotting some ideas here, including you. So just be aware and be afraid.
Oh, I'm afraid of him. He wins too much.
Yeah, Steve, very talented. I'd say. It's honestly probably a good thing for some of these drivers. One less person to worry about over the course of this season and any of these super speedway races. Because between Steve and Zach and Sebastian, I say it's a tough combo there. But again, the 42 drivers here taking the grid. There will be one driver that's going to have to serve a pit penalty here tonight, Matt. That's going to be the 40 of Brian Grimm. So we'll see him make a drive-through penalty at some point. The concern I have is may not have kind of the help that we've seen before with some of these other drivers, kind of getting those teammates to hit pit road with him. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on too. Does Brian get any help from teammates to maybe hit that pit road with him in order to help him lose that minimal time?
Well, I have no idea. I wasn't at TW chat before the race, but he did say he did have a penalty. But we'll find out. It may be a saving grace for Brian Grimm, since we have a stacked house of 42 drivers here. It could help him out. We'll never know. Yeah,
that's a very good point. You never know if and when these potential incidents could happen. You see everybody starting to kind of get tighten up on one another. So again, 75 laps scheduled race distance. Always can go beyond that with those green-white checkers as the green flag is out as Michael Pegg, Sebastian Marin lead the field here back to turn number 1 for the first time tonight. And we will get things underway as the drivers start to build up speed entering 1.
He's already getting a heck of a push by Everett Lane down on the bottom.
Yeah, and you see wasting no time to get to the top was that 01 of Patrick Groover. Saying I think we know what that's going to entail because those two love to try to get to the top side together. But before he even has a chance to, of Seth Groover, Peter DeBorgia, he's found his way to the top already in that 26 machine. Right now doesn't have any help at the moment, so we'll keep an eye and see how that third lane goes. But right now it's just kind of a drag race between those front two rows here. With the 777 and the 24 on the inside, and then the 23 and the 97 to the outside.
I'm not sure if that was by design or nobody went with him, but I have no idea.
I think he wants to get up there, just hasn't had the help at the line. I mean, you could have thrown a paper over them. That was thousandths of a second between. I honestly don't know who got the lap leather between Sebastian and Michael there for lap number 1. However, now they're starting to get that outside line going. You got Eric Laurie working with that 26 as they're going to start to try to build that momentum up here on that third lane. Do you mention the 40 car has taken that drive-through penalty, and he did pit on his own here, Matt. So the issue here now, he's going to be sitting at about a half lap down here and on his own. So say this is going to be a tough spot for him. And say probably won't take too much. I'd say maybe 10, 15 at most before he gets put a lap down. And that's another thing is it's one thing to start getting lapped. It's another thing to get laps when these guys may be running 3x3 here. So that's going to be a very big concern. But right now, pretty much everybody holding station from where they started. Say the exception being Eric Laurie there and Peter DeBorgia trying to run this third lane early on.
Yeah, you'll be about, I'd say about 5-6 laps for the catch-up zone. Yeah, the field just entering turn number 3 right now.
Yeah, as he just crossed our finish line. So, say right now you can see they're holding pretty steady in that third lane. As they've gotten to about the third row here. Eric Laurie trying to lead that outside pack, and they're really starting to pick that momentum up here in that third line. Matt working all the way now next to Gary Slipinski there in that 97 machine. And now trying to get to that front row here. You can see right there, Peter sneaks up just a little bit. He tries to get a little bit of air on that nose. And he's also bringing up that 02 here of Seth Groover. We'll see does Seth maybe give a little opening for his brother Patrick to slip on up, or maybe they try to switch positions here. Right now, it looks like Patrick content to stay on the inside line for the moment. These guys starting to get a little bit antsy, so you can already see that movement shifting side to side. Always gets me a little nervous.
You and me both. But that top lane is really moving right now with Eric Laurie leading it.
So that just a split second of the 97, it looked like kind of straddling the middle and the outside lanes. Now gets it back to the middle, but that's going to open up Everett Lane. Gets the momentum to jump back to the outside here, as now he's going to try to take the lead of the second groove here with that 97, now giving him a great push back into turn number 1. You see a few drivers here. I see the 53 Quabi Brooks. He's started to drop down to the apron. He's seen enough for his taste here. He's going to try to find an opening, though. So that's going to be the trick, is can he find the spot? I think he's going to get a little bit of help from his father there, sneaking in front of the 51 of Jim Brooks. So he's going to stay in the main draft there. Catches a little bit of a break from a teammate. And so he's just trying to get himself into a safer pocket, because, yeah, these guys up front, they are getting pretty racy here as we start to about to complete lap number 5, get to lap number 6. And at the line this time by looks like Everett Lane, just going to lead that lap by a nose as he continues to lead the way in that middle lane in that number 24 machine.
I can't say that I blame him for dropping back like that. You know, it's still really early, and they are racing kind of 3 wide there. But I really feel for him, and I'd probably be thinking the same thing.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it's different mindsets for drivers. There's some that, like I said, just want to be up front and in control. And the thing is, too, I mean, you look at the caliber of the drivers in the front here. I mean, we've got some of the best super speedway racers in various leagues over here tonight. I mean, we've seen the Sebastian Mayer and the Dale Cup guys. We've seen the team regulators there with the 777, with the 24. Then you got some of the boot knockers there. You got the Groover brothers. I mean, we've got a really stacked house of super speedway racers here. As you can see, there goes the 55. Surprised here to see the 55 there of Dean Wilkinson. He's decided to go aggressive here early as well. Usually he's one of those that's just kind of on cruise control mode. But Dean decided he's going to have some fun here tonight as well, early on this race. So right now we are 3x3. It looks like about 5, almost looks like maybe even 6 rows deep now here, Matt. And Matt, it is a packed house up front here.
Yep, it is pretty racy up there in the front. 6 wide, not 6 wide, but 3 wide, 6 rows deep, and these drivers are just not giving an inch.
And this is where things are going to get nervous there for that 40, because he's just about to get caught. Like I said, probably another half lap to a lap. It's going to be a tough spot for Brian. I think he's going to probably have to run the apron, but say we're watching this thing on the wall cams right now as you just watch these cars just rocket by you. And so, yeah, so I think for Brian here, he's just going to have to hope to be able to time this right and be able to get down to the apron. And say, of the tracks between Daytona and Talladega, definitely a lot easier to run the apron at. So I think he'll have a better opportunity here. As you can see, he's already down on the low side there. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on him as they approach him. Looks like they'll probably catch him maybe about trial, maybe entering turn number 1 here. So yeah, so let's say that's definitely the last thing you want to see in your rear view mirror, and you can see already he is kind of aimed down to that apron here. Again, the big thing for Brian is if he can at least pick up momentum and get onto the tail end of this draft here, not lose that draft, that's going to be his best option here. As you can see, it looks like Charles Johnson might be dropping to the apron as well in that 9 machine. Indeed he is here, so this is where things get a little dicey. But so far you can see, and they can carry some pretty decent speed down there.
Hey, I finally realized why Charles Johnson dropped the bottom. He is a TW member, just trying to pick up Brian Grimm there.
Yeah, and he does. So very nice job for those guys to work together. So easily Brian's going to be able to hang on to this lead pack now, and the only driver 1 lap down. So that worked out very well for him, and like I said, really nice teamwork there by Charles. But you can see it's kind of separated the field a little bit. I think Bud Steele rolled out of it just to make sure everything was going to stay safe. And it looks like they've done a great job of doing so. So right now we still have the whole field here all locked on together. I said Brian Grimm at the moment 1 down, but now back into this main pack here.
And all Brian has to do is stay incident free, and you have that lucky dog. So
yeah, exactly right.
Try to stay back, stay clear of the field, don't get any X's, and your wish would come true, and you get your lap back.
Yeah, I think that's what I would be doing too. Is I just kind of tag onto the back of this draft, just save some fuel, because you were running, looks like about 9-10 laps there on your own. Might as well just try to save. But right now it looks like he's trying to work that 3rd lane with Charles to try to push himself further.
That was a little bit close to the 46 there.
Yeah, so they were starting to get pretty aggressive there. And saying, this is if I'm Brian here, like I said, I kind of lean towards rolling back here, but when you get a teammate locked onto your rear bumper, it's kind of hard to kind of roll out of it there. So, and yeah, Charles definitely not backing down here. So, yeah, not the approach I'd be taking, and say I think kind of the same for you, Matt. Do need to mention that the lead pack is, I wouldn't say settled down a little bit, maybe, I guess you could, because right now we're only 3 wide here now, 3 about to be 4 rows deep. But yeah, so these guys are still staying after right now. As you can see now, it's the 0-1 of Patrick Gruber trying to lead that 3rd lane. I'll say with the really stout pusher of JD Crow. Haven't really talked about him so far tonight. And also that middle lane, Cody Nagels, he's found his way to the middle as well. That 2nd car leading that, or pushing that middle group here as well. And then they get the number 2, Todd Merkel, that 3rd car in that middle lane. So it's shifted around a little bit. And as soon as I said it calmed down, Matt, we're back to 6 deep here. 3 by 3.
Yep. These, like I said, like you said before, the talent of these drivers, you can hold their line. 3 wide for maybe about 30, 40 laps straight. And it's just the concentration they have. It's just unbelievable.
We have a little bit of a mix-up back here. I saw Dean Wilkinson and the 07 both dropped to the apron there. Not sure if those related with one another or what here, but Dean's in a dangerous spot here. He may lose the draft with this. I'm trying to look to see if anything stood out in timing and scoring. I don't see anything. But yeah, it's definitely something that went on there, and unfortunately this may cost Dean the draft unless he can get some help from James Hickson. But right now I think I think James is trying to go back to pick him up, but I think the problem is doing so. They both may lose the draft here, so I'm not sure exactly what went on there, but yeah, I'd say James is doing a really nice job here to pick up his teammate in that number 55, but right now they're definitely in a tough situation, both definitely losing the draft right here.
Yeah, I have no idea what went on there back there. I'll have to probably look at that one.
Yeah, so take a look and let me know what you find here, because I can't really pull away from this front pack right now, so these guys are going, once again, still all the way after it here. And yeah, it's just a guessing game at this point what's going to be the right move, because right now you got 5 cars on that top lane, and it looks like about a dozen, it feels like, on the inside and middle. And they still are all holding very tight with one another here. But that being said, though, Matt, we're just about to approach the halfway point in the fuel window here. Again, these Xfinity cars getting a little better mileage than the trucks. Usually you see these guys go about 26, 27, maybe even 28 if they can really stretch it on fuel. So that's going to be something that these guys are going to probably in the next, I'd say, 5-6 laps, they're going to start to think about, like, if you're in that middle of the outside lane, they're going to be saying, I got to find my way to the bottom here at some point.
Yeah, Deke Wilkinson just tried to pull out of harm's way and had to slow down because he was on the apron and didn't want to wreck the field. So that's good going by his part.
Yeah, Dirk Gilroy doing the same here. He's dropped out of this as well. He's going to tag on right here behind Chummy Miller in the 04. So it should be okay here. I don't think he'll risk any draft losses there. But let me look at the second pack here. I think these are the guys that they see that 3x3 up front. They say, you know what, we're going to play it safe here. And that's being led by Brandon Briggs in that number 00. So, like I said, I think one of his first races here, but early and quickly learning. And I think just, kind of thinking conservation at this point to make sure he can be there at the end to be able to have a chance at this thing. And saying then you kind of see some of those guys that we are used to seeing kind of just cruise and ride until it's really time to go, like a Bud Steele and Jim Brooks, Michael Spell, Quabi Brooks and company. We're used to seeing this out of this crew back here. So I think these guys are opting to kind of be ready and be in a place to be able to kind of be around at the end of this race, depending what happens up front here.
Yeah, I talked to the TW boys just before the race, and that was their plan. They have a little secret plan, but I'm not allowed to discuss that. So let's see, it hopes out for them. I raced them last Thursday. They're a great group of guys. Fun to be around, especially Robert Rock. He taught me a lot. So looking forward to the next race on Thursday.
Yeah, it's always fun to be able to run with these groups. That's the thing too is. It's as much as obviously a competition and trying to do the best you can, get your best results, as it is just having fun and having a fun way to spend some time with your friends. That's what a lot of these teams are, is just good friends with one another. And it's like, well, hey, why don't we race together? We can have some fun, BS, and it almost turns into almost a hang, if you will. As you see a big move there by Everett Lane, saw the opening, jumped in front of the 01, gets the push, and immediately able to hop down right in front of that 23 of Sebastian Marin. I'm watching Sebastian. I think he's going to try to return the favor here. He's going to hop up right there off of turn number 4, see if he can return the favor to that 24. So these guys kind of leapfrogging each other here once they get those opportunities. And right now it's been that 01 that's been kind of leading that push of that middle line. And there you go. Returns the favor entering turn number 1. Able to get the push, dropped right back on down here. So right now that 23 and 24 just kind of having fun with one another. Looks like almost toying with each other here at this point. And I say now it really depends on if you get what kind of an exit you get there. But now you can see the 01 is right on the door of that 24. So he's going to be pinned to that inside line here as we run. I was going to say, this is about the furthest up we've seen that second lane go. And I say it was going to be no question there. Everett Lane needed no second opportunity. It's like, yeah, I'll take that outside lane once more, as he's going to try to jump and lead that second group once again. This time Gary Slipinski being the pusher. And then Cody Nagels, he saw an opportunity to jump to lead that third lane in the 06 machine. He hops up top there to pick up that 01, I believe that is. Yeah, Patrick Groover. So once again here, we're going 3x3 some more here, Matt. And right now it looks like about 5 on the outside. For a moment it was going to be 6, but it looks like now actually down to 4. So say just the third lane is always kind of the question mark of how formed it's going to get. But look at further back here, those guys that were just kind of in cruise control right now. Nick Manfredi kind of leading that pack. They're starting to pick up the pace a little bit. They're starting to run 2x2 here a little bit. I think they're decided that they're starting to get ready to maybe make their charge to the front. To me personally, I think they're thinking about that pit stop window and knowing that some of these guys are going to be start to kind of planning on making their first pit stop soon. And so I think we might see some of these guys try to make that charge here once that pit stop window opens up.
Yeah, that window opens up here probably in the next 5 to 6 laps, I believe, about 25, 26 laps. And
yeah, I would say 25 would be probably, to me, the safest margin. Because again, we know these guys can go a little further than 25 on fuel. So it gives them the opportunity to kind of have that, but then still have maybe a lap or 2 in their laps if they need to kind of have to their advantage. But we might still see some guys that try to go a little further than that, just try to stretch this second runs as far as they can to get that last pit stop or actually I should say I'm thinking trucks here again. Sorry. Have this first stop be as long as it can. That way you can shorten that second pit stop. It's just kind of a risk versus reward to say, do you want to risk that longer fuel stop early in the race and risk losing that lead pack or do you want to maybe just try to split it up, possibly kind of evenly, like you said, Matt, go like, let's say the 25 and 50 route, or maybe just try to do a little bit less aggressive and go, let's say 26 and 52, things like that. There's a lot of options that you have here with these cars, and how early or how late you want to go. And honestly, some guys might even try to think about going early. Maybe we see someone come in at like a 24 or something like that, just to try to go a little bit off sequence, get a clean entry on their own.
Yeah, shorten the fuel tankage. Would say the less time you spend in the pits, the more track time you do gain. So it's all important. It's all teamwork. You gotta talk with the people around you, and you always have to have a buddy to come in with the pits. If you don't, it's gonna be a long day for you.
Yeah, teammates is definitely the name of the game. We've seen drivers that pit on their own, and it'll usually bite them more often than not. So I think that's definitely the right call there, Matt. They're going to need to have teammates with one another. The risk, of course, is having too big of a teammates. I mean, we even saw it in the actual Daytona 500, where there's some times where it was too big of a pack hitting pit road together. I see Cody Nagels going the elevator there, top straight to the bottom here in that 06. Got a great push from the 01. And now he's going to lead that inside lane in front of Sebastian Marin. I kind of prefer, honestly, yeah, I mean, if you can get a pit lane entry with, let's say, about maybe 6 or so cars with you, I think that's probably about the best opportunity that you can have. That's kind of the best case scenario. You got enough drafters, but it's not a gaggle around you. And I'm starting to see some drivers starting to open up some openings here, trying to give a little bit of a hole for teammates and such to find a way to the bottom there. We saw the 90s, or sorry, I think we saw the 777 let the 97 on in. And I think we're about to see the same here. Maybe where that 24 can sneak up in front of that the 97 as well. So I think, again, I think that strategy is starting to open up here, and these guys are all starting to kind of cycle their way to the bottom. And like I said, those guys that are in cruise control, now being led by the 53 of Quabi Brooks, look at them making their way up here in the middle lane, trying to do their damage early on the fuel savings, and now make those big moves to the front here. Oh, little contact.
That was a little save there by Todd Merkel. Great save.
Great save there by that number 2 car of Todd Merkel. Yeah, just a little bit of door contact there. And this is, again, everybody's starting to start to get ramped up a little bit. They're going to start trying to squeeze each other. They want to get to that bottom line if they can. And I say, unfortunately, there just wasn't quite the room there. You see Charles Johnson. He's going to have to take the opening here. He's going to squeeze in, which is unfortunate. Going to leave that 82 of Dan Harrington all by himself in this outside line. And there is 0 openings here at the moment. He might be able to sneak in front of JD Crow right here. He does waste no time to drop in there. But yeah, these guys are definitely, you can tell they're prepping for that pit stop. Saying right now, Cody Nagels really timed it to get to the front here perfectly, because now these guys don't want to risk getting off the bottom. So he's at this point, looks like will be the one to lead the field on the pit road once he decides to jump in.
I will say that is a very nice move through the field by Charles Johnson from the back. From the front to the back, to the back to the front. That's just impressive.
But you see right now, Matt, no takers here, so nobody going for that pit early strategy, because right now we're going to complete 24, and next time by we will be starting lap number 25, so that'll get us right to that 1/3 mark here. But look at that outside line here. It's starting to move a little bit there. You got the 01 of Patrick Gruber being pushed by Charles Johnson, and there was that 2 we just talked about of Todd Merkel right there as well. So right now, say we went from 3x3 here. Now we got 2 wide here for, I'd say, probably about 20 rows deep almost, it feels like. So these guys are going to start to make those big pushes. And this is where, again, this is where the strategy is going to come unfolding here. I think some of those guys towards the back that were saving fuel, this is, again, kind of the approach I usually take too, if I can, is to try to make the charge now and then be able to pit towards the front of the field here, as I'm seeing a couple drivers peek in, and we got a few drivers going to take here. Looks like starting around the 59, if I'm not mistaken, of Jay Hilliard. Yep, he's going to bring in, looks like this will be the TW boys here all hitting pit road. And that was my concern right there. I saw Randy Miner, I think, just overshot his pit stall, had to back up a tiny bit. But we're going to have these TW guys all hit pit road here at coming to lap 25.
I was wondering why Patrick Gruber dropped to the very top. He's losing many positions.
Yeah, I think he's picking up brother there in the 02, and I think the goal for him is they want to try to pit together, and I think also just he couldn't find a way down, so he's pretty much committed because he was running aggressive. He probably has to pit this time, and there's just no pockets for him, so he's had to drop to the back there. So that's a tough break, because I'll say this is now him pitting at this point probably about 2 seconds off the back, as here comes a gaggle of cars on the pit road. We got contact in the back, though. That's going to take out the 27 and the 97. And that's going to really kind of botched the entry there. You see Vicente had nowhere to go. You see the
Whoa.
01 trying to find a way through the carnage
What a
here.
move by the 01. Yes.
And they're still, so yeah, 27, he's just going to grab reverse at this point and try to back it up here. But yeah, you see the 19, Kevin Chance, the 97, the 60. Just unfortunate contact on the pit road entry. You didn't see where it all started. I'm trying to see if I can find it here, but say there was so much happening, it might be tough to find. Let me see. Let's see. I think Cody Nagels led the field onto the pits. See if we can get a better look here. And oh yeah, you see right there the 37 of Keith Horner. I think maybe just didn't realize that some of those guys are pitting, and then yeah, just sent the 27 straight into the path there. But with everything being off the track there, that stays green. So we got to jump back live here because right now we're going to have our next set of pit stops here. And again, another giant group of cars here being led by Quabi Brooks. And again, stacking up towards the back. You see one off track there, the 95 contact with Jack Walls. And just, again, that's the risk reward. You see Jack has to come to stop. He's going to grab a gear once again and get going. And so just nothing going to plan. This has been definitely a rough kind of couple of green flag cycles here for these guys. Eric Laurie overshoots his pit stall as well, so he's got to back it up a ton. And so yeah, right now it's gonna be a guessing game, and it's really split this field up here, Matt.
Yeah, it's attrition, and these guys pitting in big groups, like you said, they're just trying to come down all at once. It's risk versus reward. 0 mistakes, and what did we see? We saw a mistake, and it'll bunch up the field, and it's really going to shake up this field, when all pit stops cycle out.
Yeah, what it's done is Cody Nagels, he's going to take the lead here with Sebastian Marin with him. They got Michael Pegg, Everett Lane there. They pitted that lap before. And then Quabi Brooks and Charles Johnson, they're going to try to latch onto these guys. But yeah, this has completely thrown apart the lead here and the lead pack right now. Because right now you've got pretty much a 4-car draft. And if they work together here, they are going to completely just disappear from those two behind them. Because right now it's about 1.3 seconds and growing. As you see Sebastian Marin push as far as he could, he's going to get hot. He's going to drop out and let the 777 take over. And again, that's a great strategy to try to work together here. But this could be the exact opening that Quabi and Charles need here. That one swap of positions there, is it enough to get the 53 and the 9 onto the back here? Could turn this 4-car pack into a 6-car pack, because from their back they've got 2.7 seconds and growing on Todd Merkel.
Yeah, they got their draft watching the speed of Quabi Brooks. They're approaching 195, 196 miles an hour. Yeah, they are safe.
Yeah, that gap definitely shrinking here, so great job. Great pit stops by Charles and Quabi there. And you're right, I'd say they're within 7/10 now between the 53 and the 23. And I'd say that's really the interval you got to be looking at. But right now, I mean, we've got just, it's completely shaking up this running order. So say we were checking to see if these guys caught the draft. They will. So this will be a 6-pack here of drivers up front. And then on back here, you've got Todd Merkel here leading the second group with Noel Kors behind him, Alberto Lopez, Bud Steele. I say they've got the numbers here, but now they just got to get that organization down as well to try to get things back up. So this is the second pack here with Seth Gruber right now trying to tag onto the back of them. And then we got to go another 3 seconds back to our third pack of drivers led by Donald Stewart. Say he's got about a half dozen or so behind him. And then things start to really spread out further back there. You've got Nick Manfredi trying to get up there with Eric Laurie. They are just outside that window here at the moment. Then again, go even a little further back, you got Todd Siebels with Chummy Miller, Derek Gilray. And you go to the 00 here, say another pack that everybody's starting to try to get bunched up together here. And saying these are just drivers that were caught up in some of those incidents, those contacts. Gary Slapinski notably is one of those, just wrong place, wrong time for him. Nothing he did wrong. And so yeah, so right now this thing is all spread out here. But up front though, like I said, it's turned into a 6-car train here, Matt. And so you've got some of the you've got one Dale Cup guy, you got two of the regulators. I say that contact, you see one down on the apron there, 777. He's going to slide up across the track here, Michael Pegg, and that's going to bring out the yellow. And the yellow is indeed out. You see everybody starting to jockey around, trying to figure out where to go. But you see a great job by Michael here. He's just going to stay put. Oh, and now unfortunately has to take a tow. What happened there to bring out that caution? Because I mean, that's where you just want to run away from the field there at that point. Almost feels like maybe just a push at the wrong time up front here. Let's go back.
Oh, he blew up.
Let's Go back and take a look. Oh, that'll be a telltale. So we got to back things up a little further here. Sorry, everybody. And oh, you're right. I saw from the view there. We'll go here to the front view, and we'll watch that 777. You can see he's locked onto Cody Nagels here, and yeah, you're just going to see a puff of smoke out the front of that 777 car, and that's why he didn't get back running as well. You can see that. Yeah, you could see the flame, and then boom, you see that little puff of smoke. And then unfortunately, I think what he does there, I think he just cuts a hard left to avoid wrecking the field, or maybe got a push there from Everett Lane, just unfortunately from it. Man, that's a heartbreaker for those guys up front, because I think they know it's like, man, if that stays green, it's between us. So yeah, that's a tough break for those guys. So we go back to caution, or I should say we go to caution for the first time here, Matt. That's going to be a huge break for some of those guys that got really thrown off with with those pit stop cycles that lost that lead pack here. And I believe we might have a few drivers a lap down as well. I want to say TJ Allen might be the first one down here in that.
I was going to check him up. Yeah, I was going to check on my boy Brian Grimm, see if he did get that lap back at all.
And yeah, see, here's TJ Allen staying out, so I think you'll see him swing around the pace car here. We got some strategy, if I'm not mistaken, though. Keith Horner, yeah, he's going to stay out here. He's decided, you know what, I know I got one more stop to the end. I just want the track position, so Keith's going to stay out here. 95 is going to hit the wave round. But what this is also going to do, though, this is going to trap a lot of drivers here who wanted to take that wave around here. You see Jack Walzer in the 83. You see Vicente Guerrero lining up. They were ready to go and just blow by that pace car, but obviously they're not going to be able to do so. So that's going to throw their strategies a little bit off here. So that's going to give us 36 drivers here on the lead lap, Matt, with TJ getting his lap back and going to leave Jack Walls on back at least one or more down.
Yeah, I've been in that position before, being up there leading the race, and I'll be that guy that stays out, and everybody's wanting me to pit. And unfortunately, track position here is not really favorable. But like other tracks, as I know in the Indy Series, track position is everything. So big difference. But he can probably get all the hate he wants, but I prefer the track position.
I mean, and that's the thing is this isn't something that's going to cost him a lot. The one risk he has is the fact that he's going to have basically 5 less laps of fuel than those around him. So when he has to make his second and scheduled final stop, everybody else can go 5 laps further should they choose to. And the other thing, too, is they're going to be able to put about 5 less laps of fuel in their tanks, which will shorten their pit stops compared to him. So it's definitely going to be a gamble. I mean, I say whenever you stay out, it's always a bit of a gamble. In this case, I'll say it's not too bad. It's not like he's adding a pit stop to his race. It's just whether or not he's going to have some friends to hit pit road with. Should we go green to that next pit stop in theory scheduled final pit stop cycle?
Mm-hmm. Well, you're probably exactly right. Like he's probably going to pit by himself, or he can catch a break with a caution coming up. But as we saw in the first 25 laps here, Guile, we are pretty clean and green up until the cycle of pit stops.
Yeah, so it was definitely a nice and solid start to the race there. So, and that's always the concern you have too, is once you kind of get that first one, does it open the floodgates up for more yellows? But the one thing that a lot of these drivers will say, one thing that kind of keeps things a little calmer is knowing there's still one more pit stop that could separate the field here. And so that always makes a big difference here. As you see, the lights are off here. So unfortunately for Jack here, he's going to have to roll out to the back and let these leaders on by. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be the big question. Because usually, yeah, if you get that yellow once you're in your fuel window, at that point, really all bets are off, because it's just kind of everybody's like, okay, well, they go for broke. Because it's like, hey, we can make it to the end. No pit stops, nothing like that. So it's just going to be who's up front at the right time. That's when things usually start to get a little more wild than we're used to.
For a big break for Michael Pegg. Unfortunately, he's only lost 1 lap. That's actually pretty good. Usually if you use multiple laps than that.
Yeah, you're right. It's actually a great break for Michael to only be the one down there, is able, including having to take a tow. So was quick to react to jump to the pits there. So his competition is going to be basically Jack Walls through 37 through Kevin LaChance, Brian Grimm, Bob Fitzgerald, and Vicente Guerrero. Those are going to be those drivers that are going to be fighting for that lucky dog position here. So that's going to be, of course, the next thing to keep an eye on for the battles up front. But again, up front here, it's going to be Keith Horner. Again, he did not pit, so he's got about 5 less laps of fuel than everybody else around him. The only driver actually that also stayed out there, say not by plan, but kind of forced his hand with that 37 staying out, was Jack Wall. So those two are both pitting last at lap 26. Everybody else last pitted around 30-31 here under that caution. I also got to mention before we get back to green here, I really want to thank you all that are part of the broadcast here, watching us here on YouTube. So I've been seeing a lot of chats, a lot of support here for the regulators here. So really fun to see us. Say Everett Lang's got some pretty solid support there in that 24 as well. So really appreciate you guys. It's a lot of fun to kind of see the chats with one another. So definitely I hope you're enjoying it. Still got plenty of racing left to go here. Going to start lap number 34 this time by at the line. And of course, all the restarts controlled by the leader at this point. He can wait till that flag drops, or he can go early. And it looks like he's going to wait till that flag drops, and we are back down and away. It was going to be Keith Horner leading Charles Johnson here at the inside line, and they get a pretty good jump over Cody Nagels there as they get back to green.
Quite a bit spread out. I'm looking for that 06 and that 24 to work together.
Yeah, they got a great run here. You can see Cody there kind of took a little peek there, and look at Charles. He's going to try to take advantage too, but Cody's going to go right to the top because he's got the push he needs from that 24. The question whether or not it's going to be enough to clear that 9 car. It is. Looks like the 24 going to clear as well, so they're going to go straight back to the bottom. So great work there by the 06 and the 24 to get to the front. And then, yeah, from there on back, though, these guys starting to, again, start to dice it up a little bit here. You see Charles Johnson trying to figure out what lane he wants to run. Does he want to run the middle or the top? Looks like he's going to stick with the middle. He's got the 88 of Michael Spell behind him. And Bud Steele's in the mix here, Matt. So we haven't talked about Bud all night long for the most part. Now he's sitting there right in that 4th position at number 6.
Speaking of that, Michael Spell right to the right of him.
Yeah, Michael Spell, he's found his way to the front here as well. So some of those guys are just kind of in cruise control early on here. They found their way towards the front with that caution. Of course, like I said, still tons of racing left to go. Still one green flag pit, scheduled green flag pit stop. We'll see if we get it under green or not. But let's say that being said, these guys wasting no time to get back to 3x3 with Patrick Brewer leading the outside line. And he's got help from, I believe that is Sebastian Marin, if I'm seeing it correctly there in that 23. And then here comes Patrick rolling up as well. So that's a pretty stout combo up top there.
Yep, it sure is. They didn't even give me some pointers.
Yeah, so I would definitely take any and all tips and tricks from these guys because, yeah, they make it look easy, sometimes too easy. As you see right there, Patrick able to clear. He goes straight to the inside line. That's going to allow now the 23 of Sebastian Marin to lead that second pack. And they're starting to pick up cars here. You see the 10, I believe that is of Alberto Lopez in that Valvoline scheme working his way up there. And then also, who's that they picked up? I think that's Gary
that was
Slapinski.
Pretty close there between Michael Spell and Sebastian Marin there.
Oh, big wiggles there down the back there. Everybody trying to push. Gary found an opening, barely squeezed in front there on that 97 machine. He found his way to the middle there. But yeah, these guys are getting close. We got contact.
No caution?
Everybody stayed pointed forward, but we got cars bouncing. I say everybody's starting to try to. I think some are seeing there's no yellow, some realize there isn't, and yeah, somehow we'll say based on iRacing, again they say it's not us that throw the yellows. It's all on iRacing, but we stay green here, and that's gonna really jumble up the running order here, Matt.
Yeah, that was a push gone wrong for the 88 to the 9. That's pretty unfortunate there.
Yeah, I'll try to go back see if I can find exactly where it happened there. But yeah, and then we saw a little bit of contact afterwards as well. So let's go back here. So I'm going to try to see if I can find roughly where it was. So I'm kind of having to do a guessing game a little bit. I apologize for that. But you see the 88 and the 9 here. We'll pick up the speed to see. So I'm not sure. I think we're in 1 and 2 heading towards the back. And we'll try to take a closer look here. So again, this is a replay of what happened just a moment ago, but again, somehow stayed green there. And actually see a little bit of connection issue there from that 9 as well. That could have played a bit of a role as well there because you may not see as well as everything else. But yeah, you're right. Michael's just a little bit off center to the right here of that number 9. You can even see he's pretty squeezed up against there. But yeah, you see right here, that 9 to the outside. Charles is a lot further down. And actually, I think it maybe a little contact, maybe a little bit of net code. But what does, looks like it saves a few drivers there. The 23 and the 02 looks like they kind of net coded through there. And that kind of makes me think that it may have been more of a net code situation. The fact that some of those drivers were able to just kind of drive through that number 9 car. And then you can see everybody else is just trying to stack up to figure out if we're going under yellow or not. And that's you kind of assume that you're going to get a yellow there. And unfortunately, for a lot of those drivers did not get that yellow. So right now we've got about a 17 car lead pack here up front. And then it's everybody else trying to reorganize to get back to the front here, Matt, as we just cross the halfway point.
That really jumbled up the field. Now we got like 2-3 packs going on right now.
Yeah, so the two that are right on the outside trying to get back in but aren't going to do so this time around. The 53 of Quabi Brooks, he needs to try to drop back to Peter DeBorge. I think that's going to be his best chance to do anything there. But yeah, right now it's all spread out behind them. So they got to basically get reorganized here. And honestly, probably hope for a bit of a yellow as well as see Charles Johnson roll in the apron here, trying to get himself back up to speed. I believe pitted there for a faster pair, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, yeah, pitted on lap number 37. So that's Charles. And this could be an opportunity, though, because he's going to get up to speed here. Whether or not the 53 can maybe tag onto the back of that 9. If the 9 can hold the draft as well, this could be an opportunity for him. So we'll keep an eye. But right now, up front, these guys still running 3x3, so I can't really go too far away from this one. As right now, we're at lap number 40 of 75, so we're about 10 laps away from being in that fuel window to make it to the end here, Matt.
Yeah, I'm kind of watching up front there. They're getting kind of squirrely up there.
Yeah, a little bit of side-to-side movement. I saw that as well. And the other thing that's about to happen is they're going to start coming up on some lap traffic here. Again, just some drivers that got caught out there from that incident that didn't bring out a yellow. First of which is going to be that 46 of Derek Gilray. It's just a tough break for a lot of these drivers. To say Derek also one of those that pitted to get that repairs damaged and fast repair on his car. And then as you can see, Derek, he's actually going straight to the apron. So definitely a big shout out to Derek. And the sportsmanship you see from these guys is just top notch. So it's a tough pill to swallow, but the fact that he's doing that, it's again just the respect that he has for the other drivers. So definitely hats off to Derek there. And yeah, Matt, we were talking about Charles Johnson be able to maybe try to grab back onto that draft. That was exactly what Quabi needed. He's now back into this lead pack as well, so that's going to grow to 18 cars as now they work around that 07 here of Robert DuPont. As it's just been a tough race for Robert here, as I believe that puts him now 2 laps down.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But Charles is in that lucky dog if he can catch a caution.
Yeah, exactly right. So right now, though, you see for a moment the 24, he popped out to try to lead that lap, but Keith Horner here, he stays with Cody Nagels on the inside line. So you can see the Gruber brothers, they're split up here on the middle and the outside lines. And so, yeah, so right now it's, again, just anybody's guess because, once again, 3x3 here, 4 rows deep. But it looks like Charles isn't content to just ride to be that first car one down here, Matt. He's jumping to that third lane on the outside line. But again, he had to use that fast repair, so if he gets involved in anything, if it's bad enough, this could end his race. But so right now, Charles is not concerned about that. He just wants to get back up there and maybe try to get his lap back the old-fashioned way.
I can actually argue with that one. Right now, I'm watching the next car that's a lap down, and he is so far back of where Charles is at. If I was Charles, I'll cling on right back onto that 78 car and just ride it out.
Yeah, that next car one down at the moment is Derek Gilray, who we just saw them go by a little bit ago. Wasn't able to tag onto the back of the draft, unfortunately. But you're right, though. I would definitely be rolling back. And now you can see he has dropped back a little bit here. So maybe decided, okay, maybe I'm pushing a little bit too much too early. So we'll keep an eye on that 9 car. So right now, let's say we still stay 3x3 up front. It's pretty much lap by lap. We don't know if it's going to be Everett Lane, Sebastian Marin, or the 06 of Cody Nagels. But right now, I mean, look at that outside line, man. They are squeezing each other. And then a big move to the inside from that 01 of Patrick Gruber, as he's going to try to get to the lead here on that bottom side. But yeah, these guys are getting pretty tight on one another here.
Yeah, these guys are getting really racy up here. I like where the 9 car is sitting right now. Just laying back, chilling, just not really. We don't want to see anything happen, but just waiting to catch a caution. Hopefully, get his lap back there. But Up front, they are really, really tight together. They are not giving an inch to each other.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say is the fact, like, we're seeing these guys almost squeezing each other like you start to see within about 5 to go. I say we got 32 to go, and these guys are starting to squeeze each other here through the turns on the straights. And saying, yeah, that's definitely where I'd be starting to roll out a little bit and saying, yeah, I don't like what I'm seeing.
Because so
close between the 88 and the 02 almost doored each other there through 3 and 4. These guys are starting to just squeeze that a little bit hard, a little bit tighter. There's a huge move by Patrick here. He decided he wants to lead the outside line, maybe trying to pick up his brother there, right in front of Sebastian Marin there.
It's a move.
Man, these guys are they're just at this point I was like they're making it look easy, but it's wild the moves these guys are putting on right now.
I would be scared to even attempt that.
I think if I tried to make a move like that, I would have found a way to hit the outside while doing that. So, yeah, these guys, it's pretty wild what they're doing here, but it's working, though. You can see they're starting to make a big push on that third lane here. And I think that's exactly what's happening here is I think Patrick was trying to pull Sebastian and his brother Patrick to the front. You can see they found their way to the middle lane now to get him off of that top lane. Unfortunately, the odd man out there, Gary Slapinski, was just not quite far enough to be able to get down to the middle or the bottom. As you can see, that's allowed Sebastian Marin to now take the lead of the inside line. Gruber Brothers now going to lead that middle lane in that 01 and the 02 respectively.
It's not a surprise, Gael. Not a surprise.
It is not, but the driver I'm feeling for right now is Gary Slapinski. Was sitting there about to maybe try to get into the top 5. Has to drop outside, just about outside the top 15 there from everything that went on. But of course, still, I mean, a ton of time to go, and saying Gary knows where to make the right moves at the right time. So definitely don't count out Gary at this point. And as you can see, that pack behind, they're getting very raced. So we're going to go back to the second pack here, being led by Dan Harrington in that number 82. But these guys are also starting to go 2 and 3 wide as well, just trying to make some gains and get back up to that lead pack. Right now, they sit about 6.5 seconds from Dan Harrington leading this pack to that 53 of Quabi Brooks, the second car in pack there. I'm sorry, the last car in this lead pack right now. So, and saying they got to be a little careful with that 6 and the 53 dragging back just a little further than I would be if I'm the last 2 cars in this pack.
Well, I didn't check on the lap times. I'm not sure if they're even closing or not. I will check it next time by.
So I'm looking at lap times here. Is a 50:36 for Patrick Gruber, 40 for Sebastian Marin, and then I go back to Dan Harrington. It was a 50:62, so about 2 to 3 tenths off for that second pack right now. But I mean, definitely they're not dropping back a ton, but yeah, definitely not making the gains that they need to as of yet. And like I said, there's always, and something that I go back to from years and years ago of iRacing, there's always 2 trains of thought of what's the fastest way around these super speedways. Is it running single file tight? Is it running 2x2? And right now the lead pack, they're all running 2x2, but then you go back to the second pack, they were more single file than they are now. Now they're starting to go 2x2 as well, and it's actually Michael Pegg that's leading that second pack. And that's actually, say, Michael sitting the second car 1 lap down in that 777. So he's got his sights set on trying to get up to Charles Johnson and have a chance to get that lucky dog as well. And Matt, we are getting very close to that fuel window here. We're at 28 to go, 27 to go at the line. We know these guys can run 25 laps of fuel. We know that a lot of times they like to also give themselves a little bit of margin to be able to have that green-white checkered window if they need it. So that's going to be the next question mark, is to see kind of who blinks first to hit pit road, maybe try to do a little gamble, because like you said, every little bit less of fuel you can take, the shorter your pit stop will be. So the question is, do you do that by pitting earlier, or are you saving hard right now to maybe try to slow that pit stop down, maybe take a little bit of fuel out of it if you can? That's going to be a big question for these guys here as we start to get to that window, making those decisions of fuel only, 2 tires. If you take 2, do you want to take lefts? Do you want to take rights? There's a lot of decisions to make here as we get to this final scheduled pit stop.
Well, as you pointed out earlier, Keith Horner is going to be by himself here in the next 2 to 3 laps.
Yeah, this is where Keith's got to start kind of maybe trying to do some sales pitching to somebody where it's like, hey, why don't we pit early? We can get away from this big pack and we can make some good times, because we saw those big wrecks on those last 2 pit stops. So if we pit with a small group, we might get away with something. So that's where Keith's going to have to start trying to work his salesman hat with some of these guys around him. Maybe just try to find a few drivers that maybe don't have a team lined up with one another, maybe a team that's broken up into 2 packs. Just find anybody to kind of buy onto your strategy, because you can pit here, Matt, without losing a lap. So that does give Keith some opportunity for some strategy calls in that 37. But yeah, he needs to have somebody kind of sign on to that plan that he's got here, that he's going to have to do.
Yeah, try to be a good salesman, as hopefully you get a sale.
So we'll see, because we know he can make it to the end on his next stop here, because right now we are about to cross 25 to go here at the line. And so say he pitted last time, lap number 26, and I was saying we did have a couple of caution laps, so I would say he could realistically probably go to about, let's say 23, maybe 22 to go. I think would be the absolute furthest he could probably take that 37 car. So we'll have to keep an eye. But honestly, may have been the right call, though, because again, we saw that big incident that split up the pack there, Matt. If he pits there, he may have been in the middle of that mess and may have not been able to keep in this lead pack. So right now, that gamble looks like it's the right call. And lap time wise, that second pack is starting to move here, Matt. It was a 50-14 for JD Crow to a 50-44 for Sebastian Marin, so over 0.3 of a second quicker that last time around.
Yeah, they are really cooking right now. They had gained over. I looked at the last few laps, and they gained like over probably about 0.5.
Yes, and they're just going to need to keep doing that, unfortunately, because they say they still got about a 6-second gap between. Looks like JD Crow to Quabi Brooks. Again, I'm comparing from the first car in the pack to the second car, or the last car in the second pack. So yeah, so right now they don't have the numbers they're quite looking for yet, because this time they run a fair bit slower, actually, a 50-68 to a 50-49. So they said they lost about 0.2 that time around. And it's just, you're always going to kind of get that ebb and flow as temperatures start to rise in the car's temperatures, oil temp, water temp. Let's say someone's going to have to start to back off that draft a little bit. So I think the second pack's best opportunity here, Matt, is going to be try to do a little bit of pit strategy, whether that's to go long and just make sure you don't get trapped a lap down, because again, with them sitting 7 seconds now off that group in front of them, if they pit under green before these guys up here, that could cost them a lap. If we get an untimely yellow, then they would have to cycle all the way to the back, and that's exactly what's happened here. You got Peter DeBorgia leading JD Crow, Eric Laurie, Jim Brooks, Joey Miller, Dan Harrington. They've decided to go in early here, Steve. So this is going to be important, too, to see where do they cycle out. Do they stay in front of the leaders, or are they going to wind up getting tagged onto the back here as we start to hit the pit cycle?
I just heard over the radio that Keith Horner is pitting this lap.
All right,
Let's see if he have any takers with him. Hopefully he won't be pitting by himself.
Yeah, so we're watching 37 here. He starts to peel off, and he is going to have one person, Charles Johnson. And this is going to be big for Keith, although he is hustling that thing. That may have been too fast there, Matt. A little nervous about how hot he got into the pit road there. And also Peter DeBorgia, pit penalty as well for that 26, still sitting on pit road. That was our points leader inning tonight. This could be a big hit for him as well. We'll have to definitely keep an eye and see where things cycle out for him. But those that did come out together, though, they are still in front of that lead pack. It looks like JD Crow leading Jim Brooks, Mike, and then Eric Laurie. Unfortunately, they have lost Dan Harrington here, so he's fallen off this draft. We'll see if they come back to pick him up or not. But they do stay just in front of the leaders here, but they are coming with a huge rate of speed here.
Yeah, that's a black flag for Keith Horner. He got too fast entering.
Yeah, so the other one we need to look at, yeah, you're right, Keith Horner, he's still sitting on pit road, so yeah, too fast entering for him. And the other big thing this does here, though, Matt, this changes our Lucky Dog situation, because, again, with these guys starting to pit there, Charles Johnson had pitted, that puts him out of the Lucky Dog position, I believe, sitting now on the shoulders of, actually, I'm not sure who it's sitting on right now. I believe possibly Vicente Guerrero, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna let things cycle through, because I can't tell who's down
right
now. Right now,
our lucky dog is Christopher Trevette.
Oh yeah, you're right. The 94 car, who is right on the back of this lead pack. So that's a good opportunity for him. But he's got James Hickson right there behind him. However, we're gonna see pit stops pretty soon. So far, these guys haven't ducked off yet. I honestly thought they might start to jump off here as they approach the traffic, but right now they stay out here. And I think they're staying out because they are gaining time on that pack behind them. So I think as long as you're making gains on these guys around you, you might as well keep running a little further. And but the only risk they have here is if we do get a yellow, even though they're at the very tail end of the lead lap right now, that would cycle J.D. Crowe, Jim Brooks, Eric Laurie to the front of the field as they have completed their last scheduled pit stop.
And those boys that pitted early will have a less time in the pits. I'm kind of interested to see what time these guys have gained.
Yeah, I was saying those three are going to be fighting tooth and nail. They want to stay on this lead lap because they know what's at stake if they get lapped down, and that might be part of why these guys are starting to keep that pace up right there. As you see a big move from the 0-2. He's going to drop down. He's going to try to get an opening for the 0-1 as well. They just get there. So I think that's our telltale here. I think we're just about to start to see our second set of green flag pit stops, this time with our lead pack. But right now, here comes Sebastian Marin. He's got a big run here. He's going to try to jump to the outside of these three. So let's say if he does not clear him here, Matt, he's going to be in a tough spot depending on how much further he can go before he has to make his last scheduled pit stop.
Yeah, I'm quite interested in what lap they're going. Yep, they're coming in right now. I'm just saying the chat.
Well, this is going to be tough because the guys on the outside, they're pinned to the outside line, so Sebastian can pit. But the rest of those guys, there's no opening for them to hit pit road here, so we'll watch and see. And yeah, so sure enough, here comes the pack there. But you can see that on the outside lane, they're going to being stuck staying out here as we got a big hustle in pit road here. So far, so good. Looks like everybody gets in clean there. Now it's going to be Everett Lane to the point, and he does clear a couple of those cars, as does Cody Nagels. So now Jay Hilliard, he's going to have to tuck back in. So right now, Eric Laurie is going to be the first car one down here, Matt, in front of J.D. Crowe, in front of Jim Brooks. But we know they're going to be pitting here, so as long as this thing stays green, he's going to have an opportunity to get back on the tail end, and then it's going to be interesting to see where they cycle out.
What a great! That was a great pit stop by the 0-1 and the 23, and the 0-2 and the 10.
Yep, and here comes that second pack of cars. They're going to hit pit road as we get contact in the back. We're going to be wrecking here at 6 of Bud Steele, and they are on track. So unless Bud can get off the racing surface right now, caution is out. And that might be actually a perfect break for those drivers that just hit pit road here, because if they're on pit road when that yellow came out, they will be able to pick and complete their pit stops here. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's go back and see what happened here. Unfortunately, to bring out this yellow. Actually, we're going to let this cycle through here, so I got to see exactly where everybody's going to come through here. Bud Steele, he's opted to get back out on track here because I think that's the right call for Bud. That way he doesn't get trapped a lap down. But yeah, that's going to be, I think, about perfect, though, because here comes Cody Nagels. He's out of pit road, and I believe is going to pretty much going to cycle through as our race leader once that 6 and the 09 hit pit road here.
Yeah, I couldn't see what happened. My can't wrangles cannot pick that up, fortunately.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back right now and take a look to see. I think it was just unfortunate drivers hitting pit road and a little bit of miscommunication of who was going to be where and who was pitting and who wasn't. Actually, we're already getting into the contact here, so let's back it up a little further here. And actually, it looks like kind of a couple of situations here. Because I'd say the first one I noticed was Dan Harrington kind of getting a little bit of air off the right rear of the 53, but I think there's also some additional contact along with that unrelated. And yeah, Dan Harrington, I don't think he realized these guys are hitting or pitting there. Dan gets a little bit of air time there, and then yeah, Bud Steele gets into the side of the 15 there, and that's, I think, really where the yellow mostly actually kicked off there. So I think kind of a couple of separate incidents there, unfortunately. Involving the 53 along with the 6 and company. So that's going to put, like I said, that's going to put us back under yellow here. And again, once again, here pit stops, Matt, kind of causing a little bit of chaos. But what's going to happen here is it's going to cycle Cody Nagels to the point. And again, we're going to have a lot of drivers kind of trapped in the middle here between tail end of the lead lap and a lap down. So we're going to have to see where everything cycles through, because it is all sorts of chaos right now. When you get these pit stop or cautions in the middle of pit stops, it really shakes up the field.
That's another driver looking for his first Area 51 win here. Cody has 0, so tonight could be his night.
So it looks like wave around going to the 14 of Vicente Guerrero. and so that's going to put Vicente back on the lead lap. But yeah, this is really shaking up our running order here, Matt. So drivers right now that have stayed out to take the waiver rounds, though, include, it looks like Derek Gilray is going to plan on staying out, Chummy Miller, you've got Robert Rock here as well. And then I believe the first that's going to be trapped a lap down after all this is said and done is going to be the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. So again, we got some big names here that are a lap or more down. Let's say Dean Wilkinson, Peter DeBorgia now also a lap down with that pit penalty he had. Keith Horner, same thing for him. Michael Pegg, unfortunately, just hasn't been able to get himself back on the lead lap after his incident when he blew the motor. Then James Hickson, Brian Grimm, that original pit penalty for the incident points from last week. So right now it's all kind of shaken up here. But what we do know is kind of what we talked about, Matt. We're good to go to the end from here, and it's gonna get very busy now. And these guys they know they're in their window here, and these guys are gonna be stepping up just a little bit more here once they know what's on the line now.
Yep. When push comes to shove, we all know what's gonna happen if they get too aggressive. But I really hope. Cody's been racing this league for quite a while. He's been racing up front quite a bit. Unfortunately, luck has not been on his side. I'm looking forward to see if he can get his first Area 51 win here tonight.
I mean, he's in a good spot, but of course, I mean, track position only means so much at a track like Daytona Talladega, like these Super Speedway series. So he's going to need some friends. He's going to need some help. But we've got a little bit of a shaken up running order now up front here, though, Matt. We've got Cody Nagels, like I said, he's been up front for the most part tonight. But then you got some other drivers that have started towards the back there, worked their way forward here. You got Jay Hilliard there now in second, Michael Spell, Quavi Brooks third and fourth. And then you get back to some of the guys that have been up front a good chunk of the race with Everett Lane, Gary Slapinski, Patrick Gruber, Sebastian Marin. They're all right here together. Alberto Lopez, he's now up into the top 10 in that number 10 machine. And then Seth Groover going to round out our top 10 in the 02 here. So, there's still a lot to play for us. But like I said, now they know they're good to go to the fuel on the end. And also those that pitted under that caution flag, there's probably no strategy. That's going to be the big question mark, actually, I think, Matt, is going to be how much fuel these guys put into their cars. Did they account for that green-white checkered? Because I'm looking at the pit stop times, and there were some pretty quick pit stops in here. The ones that I think that are for sure good to go are those that pitted under yellow there. So, yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting to see kind of who's going to be where safe. Because if we get to that green-white checkered window, things are going to get very interesting to see. Who's going to have what on the fuel levels if they get to maybe one or two green-white checkered. So this is definitely far from over here on this one.
Yeah, I saw Michael Spell running on the apron, which is actually pretty smart. Save fuel in case you get a green-white checkered, have an opportunity to grab a win. I'm there with him. I would be probably doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you know you short-filled your car to maybe just to the end or maybe a little extra, yeah, you're going to want to be able to save every drop you can, every opportunity you can. So I think, you see that even in NASCAR now in real life, these guys pretty much, if there's a yellow, they're saving fuel even if they don't know they need it, because you just don't know how long these races are going to go from time to time. So it's definitely something that's kind of ingrained in a lot of these drivers now. It's like, okay, caution, yep, saving fuel. So it's all to play for here. We're going to restart this thing with 14 to go. We're going to have Cody Nagels, Jay Hilliard on that front row, and then Michael Spell, Quavi Brooks in row 2. And then you've got Everett Lane and Gary Slapinski, row 3, Sebastian Marin, Patrick Gruber, row 4, and then Alberto Lopez, Seth Gruber in row 5. So pace car is starting to duck off, and they're going to hand things over to that front row. And again, Cody Nagels, he has control of the start, so if he chooses to, he could go a lot earlier. He could even drop now if he wanted to. But again, Daytona Talladega, you usually want to try to stay bunched up together because usually too big of a lead is a bad thing. So it looks like we're going to wait till that green flag flies, keep this field bunched up as we get back to green here, 14 to go.
Whoa, that was quite an interesting start by the 00.
I'll say 00 went straight to the wall here, wanted to waste no time to maybe see if he could be that third lane leader. As Gary Slapinski too, he's starting to peak already to that outside line. He's got some talent behind him, but they look like they're going to hang him out to dry in that 97 car. And that's where, again, this is where the gamesmanship comes into play here right off the bat, Matt. Gary's again, he's really good. So if you're the 01, if you're the 23, you might say, hey, we got to keep him behind us. We don't want him to be the one leading that third lane. We want to be that leader of the third lane. And so that's why they let him stay up there and try to draft on by him. But it won't be long. And yeah, there it goes. The 01 and the 23, they're going to jump straight to the outside. Yep. And they are side drafting already here as we're going to go 3 wide here through the trial oval.
It didn't take them long.
So now the question is, how much momentum can they get? You can see already 2 of the 3 are cleared, but not quite enough yet for the third, as now he does. And big move by Sebastian Marin goes from top to the bottom. We got contact in the back. Gary Slapinski up in the wall. 53 up and over. We got a big wreck here through 1 and 2 here.
No.
Oops. There we go.
Yeah, that's a yellow.
Yeah, big yellow here. So a lot of cars involved. Gary Slapinski was involved. We saw Quavi Brooks flip him up and over. Jim Brooks also involved. You can see down in the background there, I think Vicente missing the front clip of that 14 machine. And that was kind of the concern we had there, Matt, was once we start to get to that crunch time, these guys start to ramp up just a little bit more. And unfortunately, it came to a tough halt there for a few drivers here tonight. So let's go back and see what exactly happened here to bring out this yellow.
Unfortunately, there was contact between Quabi and I think it was a 24 of Everett Lane.
Yeah, we'll take a look here. You already see the contact kicking off. So let me back it up just a little further here. We can get a better look at things. So I apologize. I say it's always hard to get things lined up just absolutely perfectly. 53. All right, so we're going to start things off. We'll keep an eye on this 53 and the 24. So we get into turns 1 and 2. And yeah, the 53 just, I think actually you can see he was reacting maybe to Michael's spell. Looks like possibly drifting up a tiny bit too. And then he gets up into the 24. That gets him into the 97. And then from there, it's just kind of all a chain reaction behind these guys. And you can see there's the 53 kind of barrel rolling through 1 and 2. And yeah, just nowhere for some of these guys to go, unfortunately. So you see a few guys trying to sneak through. You see the 14 looking all good. Oh, who is that flipping in the background there? Saw one catch some pretty significant airtime. That was still the 53.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll go back. We'll watch that one more time from the 53's point of view, because actually it looks like that's where he wound up having to take a tow. Let me go back one more time here. We'll take a look once more.
Good thing I'm not in VR.
Yeah, so that's definitely one that's probably not a very good feeling here. Let's do one more view here. So I want to see if there was indeed a reaction, because again, these guys are all running super tight on one another here. And you see the 59, he's kind of drifting up, and I don't know. I think it's just honestly just looks like just lost the lane a little bit. I say it's easy to say from up here in the booth what someone could have should have done there. You see that the 2 and the 10, that's where the contact happens between them, and that's what sends the 53 up into the wall. I say things get a little crazier afterwards. I say we'll watch out from the back here. I say he gets the first hit, he's already going up and over, and then I think he takes a second hit. Yeah, he catches the wall there. And then it just flings him up and over the track here, and I think actually out of the park there. And so you'll see the car kind of just pretty much throws him straight back to the pits there. And then behind them you can see 071 Eric Laurie. I mean, these guys are still wrecking on back here. So it's one of those situations. Unfortunately, it's going to be more of who wasn't involved than was involved. So I believe the 40 though, Matt, Michael Grimm or Brian Grimm, apologize. I think he got through unscathed, and he is finally going to get himself back onto lead lap in that number 40 machine.
Oh, took him all race to do it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. Good feeling.
Yeah, that was a tough one there, time for a lot of those drivers. So what we've got here is, so we're gonna be inside 10 to go here. I'm out on this restart right now. Lights are still on. We're at 11 to go. So that's probably going to give us lights off at this time around. So we'll probably restart with 9 laps remaining. And with Brian Grimm getting the lap back here, I believe that's going to sit us at about 26 drivers on the lead lap. However, you can see, again, attrition starting to set in here. You see Bud Steele, some damage to his machine. Right behind him, Charles Johnson, still some pretty decent damage as well. And then so this is just going to be, again, it's going to be the question of who's got fast repairs, who doesn't. Who's been able to save him to the last part of this race. And Yeah, we got some good chats in the YouTube here, Matt. With some comments of like, first, hopefully the 53 is okay, and then hopefully those people in the fans on the infield are okay too, because man, that was definitely a wild one there. So what we do have though is it looks like still, like I said, also need to mention some of those involved. Looks like Everett Lane, he's back. He's used his fast repair. He's going to be back into the thick of it. Looks like pretty much from Nick Manfredi on back, hit pit road under that yellow. Robert Rock on forward went ahead and stayed out. So I think that kind of tells us who was and was not involved in that incident there. Pretty straightforward, I believe.
Yeah, it's pretty much night over for Quabi, Gary. They both had tremendous races. It's tough luck for them. It's unfortunate the way it happens. It's super speedway racing. I know I've been on that side of the fence before.
Yeah, so unfortunately, looks like the driver's so far out of the race, including the 53 now out, the 94 of Christopher Trevette, this 27 of Zachary Lima. I was about to say Lima. You almost got me there. Yeah, so those guys have retired. I believe possibly Gary Slapinski as well. So yeah, some unfortunate attrition starting to set in here as we're down to the 10 to go point here. So yeah, so we're going to restart with 9 to go here, Matt. You got Sebastian Marin now to the point. Groover brothers are split up here, but I've seen those three. It seems like they're working pretty well together. So wonder if we'll see any strategy with these three trying to maybe stay hooked up together, or do we see those Groovers start to maybe try to pick on that 23 once you get to the closing stages of this one?
It'll be quite interesting to watch. We'll see what happens. But I probably expect the 02 to push the 23 in the front and the 02 to slot right in front of the 01.
Yeah,
that would be my guess.
I'm starting to spy on Discord channels, and so do you need to mention the 23 and the 01 and the 02? They are not in the same Discord. However, driver that is with that 01 and the 02 is the 06 of Cody Nagels. So we'll keep an eye on them. Maybe the three of them are going to try to work together to get the best finish they can. So maybe we'll see some drivers trying to pick on Sebastian Marin, which I say Sebastian used to doing the picking. We'll see what these guys have in store. But pace car we saw just ducked off here. We're going to see the field come into view here. As again, it's going to be Sebastian Marin leading the way. Again, has control here. Can go as early or late as he wants. And right now, again, I think these guys are going to opt to stay a little later here just to try to keep that field bunched up, because you just do not want to get a big advantage over the rest of the field here as we get back to green. 9 laps to go here, Matt.
Yep, here they go. Big jump by the 23.
Yeah, he gets about a car length over that 02, but right now everybody's staying put here. Wasn't sure if the 01 might try to sneak in front of the 02, but right now they stay lined up together. But this could be an opportunity. Can the 01 get enough of a push to jump to the outside of Sebastian? Or is that gap going to close too quickly? And right now it looks like he's pinned to that inside line. So it looks like the 02 of Seth Groover going to be stuck pushing for the moment at 23. But would not be surprised to see those two find a way to get together here as we head back into turn number 3.
Trying to drop back here to see if another third lane was starting to roll.
Oh yeah,
there is all the way in the back. There's a third lane rolling.
Yeah, Alberto Lopez leading that third lane. He's got Todd Siebels there with him. He's got that 24 of Everett Lane, and so you know Everett's ready to roll. You got the 777 there, Michael Pegg. He's going to be in the thick of this thing as well. Again, right now Michael's still trapped a lap down after blowing that motor, but you know he's going to be ready and willing to help his teammate here if he can. I've also seen JD Crow and Eric Laurie starting to work that third line as well, a little further up the field here. But right now, these guys, and there's the hookup here, the 01 and the 02, they get together, and they're going to try to make this second line push around that number 23.
Does that surprise you, Gaio?
I am shocked to see the 01 and the 02 work together, but look at this, though, the 06 here, he's going to try to lead that third lane. Saw the 5 of JD Crow coming. He hopped up in front of them, and he's going to get that big shove here from that third lane, and we're going to go 3x3 once more here at the line. We're going to be at 7 laps remaining.
JD Crow is pushing the heck out of Cody Nagels right now.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to see. But again, they got to be careful. We've seen it once already here tonight. You can't push too hard. You don't want to risk that motor. So say these guys, and the thing is, what's going to happen is these guys are going to start to push a little more, a little harder, a little longer. and it's just going to put those engines at risk. These guys really got to keep an eye on their gauges, and so you're going to start to see a little bit of movement here. Also see a little bit of connectivity issue there. I think it was the Eric Laurie there, and that always makes it really tough because you don't know where he might be when he comes back. So that's a tough spot to be in. I think who's that car right behind him? I think that's the 95 who's in that tough situation right now. So but right now we stay green here, and we've got 6 to go at the line. These guys starting to pinch each other a little more. Every lap they're starting to squeeze together a little tighter.
I'm like crossing my fingers, just hope they make it back.
I'm probably about as tense as some of these drivers here just watching this thing.
I am. It's got me on my seat.
So you see JD Crow, he's giving up that third lane. He's dropped to the middle. I also see Everett Lane. He's starting to work his way up towards the middle here as well. He's closing in on the top 10 in that number 24, trying to recover from his incident there. And right now, let's say that second lane is definitely making some moves. Let's say that the third lane's kind of fizzled out here. But at some point, someone's going to be the one to try to lead that third lane right back to the front here. But right now, they're staying pretty much up front 2x2 for about the first 4 to 5 rows. And you can see these guys are thinking about it. You see right there, Michael Spell. He's
trying to go to the outside.
I don't think he's got the help. He's going to probably have to tuck back in.
Todd Merkel went with him. No!
Contact.
Nice save.
Saves it.
Nice.
Stay green. Big move there. Big wiggle. Big chase. But he's able to hang on to it. But yeah, Michael Spell is going to try to work that third lane. But you can see that second lane, they've lost a lot of momentum here. That could be a hope for that third lane to get formed. But right now, it looks like that middle lane is still where you want to be.
Whoa, Randy disappeared out of nowhere on my screen.
Yeah, some drivers starting to have a little bit of connectivity issues, but that's the thing is Randy Meyer, he's in the thick of it. Now Sebastian Marin disappears. We've got some connectivity issues on the closing laps of this race. That's the absolute last thing you want to have happen here because we have 5 to go, and these guys are on top of each other here, Matt. You got Michael Spell leading the outside lane with JD Crow pushing him. You got the Groover brothers in the middle. You got Jay Hilliard and Sebastian Marin on the inside line. As we're going to cross here, 4 to go.
No!
Contact.
Contact!
Oh, the 101, he's around. We're going to have trouble here. And, yep, there it goes. Yellow is going to come out as these guys are all wrecking up in 1 and 2. Alberto Lopez up and over there. Got a couple cars go around as we're going to get yellow here at 4 to go. And that is going to probably put us into green-white checker territory. As there's Randy Miner, I think that's kind of where it kicked off. And unfortunately, seeing in the pits that 24 of Everett Lane was having a great recovery. Unfortunately, does not get a break to sneak through that one as we go back to yellow here.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate. I think what happened there, I think the 101 thought the 5 was going to come down on him, and the 101 moved down on the 78, and it was just on from there.
They're all starting to squeeze each other, man. Yeah, so you see the 5 and the 101, they're a little tight to each other, and the 101 reacts, and that gets him across the path of that 78. But again, you can see a little bit of a netcode issue there, and then from there, it's just everybody's just trying to react and survive. And you see, Todd Merkel even gets almost through him a little bit. You can see the 101 already up and over a little bit, and then just you can see on the outside, Eric Laurie, he gets a little piece. But yeah, I'm still seeing a lot of contact where these guys aren't actually making contact with one another. And it looks like for a split second there, that was Everett Lane had it almost clear, but then as he tries to slide up there, unfortunately the cars around him, you see everybody else starts to slide. Alberto Lopez, a couple of drivers catching some air through the grass transition here. And again, everything looks like it was the 82 actually that went up and over there. Also the 07 Robert DuPont almost as well. So we talked about attrition here, Matt. It's starting to pick up a little more as well here. Unfortunately, it's going to put us back under yellow, and I believe is going to get us into that first green-white checker territory.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but he knew his connection issues, and it's really hard for him to drop down and him being in the middle of the pack there, him dropping up, getting out of the way. It's just you can't just drop and just get it out of the way.
Yeah, when you're trapped 3x3 and you're in the middle, there's no pulling over and letting everybody by, unfortunately. So, however, one person's misfortune is going to be a good fortune for somebody else. And that person's going to be, I believe, Peter DeBorgia, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, here he comes. You can see him rolling to the outside here. And that is going to put him back onto the lead lap. And that's a pretty clean-looking number 23 car. And he's had a really good season so far. So, again, he's trying to recover from that pit miscue and finally able to get back up into the lead lap here. And this could be a huge break for him in that points battle, Matt. Because, again, he's leading coming into tonight. But again, we talked about the drop weeks, and unfortunately, he doesn't have any drop weeks as he's missed the first couple of races. So this could be a great opportunity for Peter here to, again, just try to make the best of a bad situation. We have a number of drivers here getting some pretty significant damages repaired to their cars. I'll say Bud Steele sitting about 40 seconds now down and away. Chummy Miller, you can see the front clip missing on the 04. Jim Brooks just now rolling off. Could be worse. Car looks like it could be all right. I say Randy Minor, same thing, front clip missing on that bad boy too. So it's going to be tough for some of these guys here. But looking through the field here up front, these guys look pretty clean still, Matt. So I think up front here, we're going to probably saw, I think, at least have a solid 10, 15 cars here that are going to be in pretty good shape here for this final stint to the finish.
Yeah, I was looking at the 2 car of Todd Merkel, which I thought would have the most damage. But unfortunately, that little netcode kind of saved his behind here.
Yeah, so sometimes netcode taketh, sometimes netcode giveth, and in this case, it looks like netcode is going to be a savior for Todd. And that's the thing is, I mean, we saw cars were blinking out there, Matt, those couple laps, and it wasn't just one driver, it was a couple of drivers having that netcode issue. And I think, I mean, yeah, we saw everybody starting to squeeze a little tighter. I think we saw the reaction to that, but I think it was really the kind of the netcode that kind of caught everybody off of, okay, was this actually contact, was it not contact? So yeah, so kind of a tough break for some of those guys that got caught up in that one. And yeah, unfortunately, I believe our retirement list is starting to grow pretty significantly here as we're going to get to this first attempt of a green white checkered here as we get the one to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check on this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do our Groover brothers have a win here in Area 51?
I believe one of the two have a win. I don't remember if it's Seth or Patrick offhand.
I'm going to have to check on that.
Yeah, if you want to dig into that, let me know which one it is. But yeah, I believe one of the brothers has it. I can't remember which one it is. So yeah, so maybe we see the other brother kind of get on level playing grounds with his brother here. You see a little further back, everybody trying to get sorted out to get lined up in the correct positions. So we do know, though, our top 10 here, Matt, is going to be the front row of Seth Groover and Sebastian Marin, Patrick Groover, Michael Spell, row 2, Jay Hilliard, JD Crow, row number 3, Donald Stewart, Cody Nagels, row 4, and then Eric Laurie, Todd Merkel, row number 5 for our top 10 here. Again, so the way the green white checkered works, if we get to that white flag, at that point the race is official. They will race it back to the checkered flag. However, if we get a yellow before we get to the white, we will have up to 2 more attempts for the total of 3. And on that third and final attempt, if there is a yellow before they get to that white flag, at that point the race will be official where they are on track position at the time of the caution. Usually, I don't think we've ever gotten to the third attempt where we've thrown a yellow. So We'll see. Hopefully we don't get that trend here tonight. Usually they are able to get it done in 1, maybe 2. So we'll see what we got here for this hopeful, potentially, final restart.
Yeah, we've gone 2, and that's the most we've gone this season. I did a little bit of digging. Patrick does have a win in the Truck Series, and Seth does not. So hopefully Patrick can push his brother to a nice little win here.
I'll say, well, they're lined up in the right position for that brother to match up with them, so we'll see if they're able to get on level wins tonight. As you can see, field's all starting to get doubled up here again. I don't suspect we'll see the Groovers go early here. I think it's in their best interest to keep this field bunched up together. The question is, though, they're on the inside here, Matt. They seem to be kind of fond of running that second and third lanes here. So the question will be, if they can clear that 23 Sebastian Marin, do we see them at some point try to work their way to that middle groove and try to control that line? As we get back to green here, green white checkered attempt number 1. As I say, I saw a lot of movement out back here. I believe we're okay. Nope, we are not okay. We are back under yellow here. And I say there was a lot of shaking there in the background. And it looks like the 10 car, if I'm not mistaken, Alberto Lopez may have been involved. He is definitely involved here. That's going to put us back under yellow. So we'll go back and see what happened here on this restart. But definitely not what they're looking for as we got back to green there.
Oh, Jim Brooks. Oh, crab walking down the front stretch.
Yeah, you already see him stacked up here. I almost wonder if it's a missed shift here. So let me back it up one more time here so we didn't quite get where it all kicked off yet. And yeah, it looks like a little bit of a accordion effect right around the number 10. So we're going to look around Alberto Lopez here. And let's see if we can get a better angle of this on this restart. We'll look at it from here. I see everybody's starting to get up to feel. You see the 15. He's right tight on the 071 of Eric Laurie. And let's see if it's maybe just some drivers trying to anticipate. I don't know if it's anticipating the start, just a little bit of checkup. Someone doesn't go. I mean, yeah, look at that. They're already according. You see the 06 and the 5 right together. 071 gets back. And then, yeah, it's just an accordion effect behind them. It just usually winds up a couple rows deep. Derek Gilroy gets into it. The 10 gets into it as well. And then, yeah, you're right. There you see Jim Brooks, the 19 as well. Just unfortunate. Just some miscues there. And just, yeah, that accordion effect, unfortunately. And somehow, you see Alberto almost he gets flipped up and over against the wall here. But at the same moment, you can see just slowly winds up back on his wheels, luckily able to grab a gear and get going again. But yeah, tough break for those guys. That's not the restart I don't think any of these guys are looking for. Again, now the question is going to be, someone's bad luck is going to be somebody's fortune. And I'm looking at the timing and scoring here. Might be Dean Wilkinson, possibly, I believe, is the first car one down as they run. That could put Dean here back onto the lead lap, so we'll keep an eye on him. But you see the field here, they're definitely, I think, taking their time catching that pace car, because this is attempt number 2 here, Matt. Again, we don't know how much fuel some of these drivers up front put in for their final stop of the race. Have they accounted for enough fuel to make it on these two, now second green-white checkered?
Yeah, I have no idea. I've seen a lot of people clutching. I see a lot of flames come out of the exhaust there. It's a lot of people sputtering.
Yeah, I'm watching William George here. He's going to hit pit road. Not sure if that's for fuel or maybe some damage repairs. So we'll keep an eye on. Looks like he's actually the only taker really to hit pit road here. So that's going to put us back under yellow here. And then we're going to check for the lucky dog. See if Dean starts to move his way on forward or not. And yep, there he goes. So Dean Wilkinson going to be our lucky dog here, Matt. So he's going to get back onto the lead lap in that number 55. So I'll say with that quick yellow here, we're going to step away for just a moment. And we'll get back here again on the one to go for our second attempt of a green-white checkered. So stay tuned, everyone. All right, as you can see, the lights are off the pace car as we head down the backstretch. So again, this is attempt number 2. So as you saw there, the caution came out quick on that restart, unfortunately, and that threw the caution right back out for our second attempt. So say it would be the third attempt. If something like that happened, that would be the running order at the line would have been our finishing position. So again, question mark is going to be fuel. I mean, I'm looking at their top 15 or so, and pretty much everybody pitted from 57, 58. The first of those that pitted at 64 is Eric Laurie in the 071. So again, the big question mark, how much fuel did some of these drivers here pit and put in their cars? Do they have enough for all 2, if not possibly 3 attempts of these green-white checkers? Front row once again going to be the the 02 and the 23. Seth Gruber, Sebastian Marin, Patrick Gruber, Jay Hilliard now in row number 2. Michael Spell back into 5th in the inside of row 3. And then you got Donald Stewart now up into 6th. And you got Cody Nagels there a little bit further back, drops to 9th position here. You got JD Crow in front of him, Todd Merkel, and Robert Rock rounding out our top 10. As pace car is just about to duck off here, Matt, we're going to get things going again for attempt number 2. Dean Wilkinson back on the lead lap. See if he can make some gains here on this potentially final restart. We'll see what Seth and Patrick have possibly up their sleeves to try to get their best results for each other here tonight. Again, waiting for that green flag to fly, and they are down and away. Again, little bobbles you see again starting to jump around a little bit further back there. I think this time they keep it clean and green, but these guys are definitely antsy, and they are ready to go as we get back going here. You can see the 0 and the 02 easily clear the 23, Sebastian Marin. Michael Spell might even have a chance to clear that 23. We'll see. Does Michael say he's got no attachment to these top 2, so if he can get a chance to maybe try to work that second lane, just need to time it. Oh, we got a big wreck in the back here.
Oh,
and
God,
we are going to go back under yellow there. I believe that's the 6 of Bud Steele's involved. You see a few other trying to sneak on through here. Yeah, Bud Steele, Dan Harrington, also a good chunk of that one as well. So that puts us back under yellow here, and that is going to put us into attempt number 3, Matt. So let's go back and see what happened here to put us back under this caution here.
I think I kind of cursed that.
All right, so we're looking here. We're watching the 26 right behind the 6. And, it looks like the 46 just kind of goes from bottom to top there. Not sure what happened there, but you see Peter DeBorgia just sneaking on by there. But then behind them, unfortunately, you see pretty much nobody else have anywhere to go here. You see Dean Wilkinson, I think, actually sneaks by it pretty well here. But yeah, so another handful of drivers involved here. So again, this will be the next question, though, is going to be which driver is going to be the one to maybe benefit from this, because I'm not sure who was still a lap or more down. So we'll jump back live here once again to kind of see where everything cycles out. But I believe... Well, actually, Brian Grimm, I think he was involved in that one, and he's also missing the front clip of his car as well. So looking at the 08, that Bob Fitzgerald's car is looking awful clean here, Matt. Bob may be our lucky dog recipient, but I think the bigger story is going to be now is going to be fuel, because, again, we talked about it. Could we go all 3 attempts? We're going to get all 3 attempts. Do these drivers have enough fuel? Because I'm looking here. I mean, you look at the 02. He's got a pretty good margin. I mean, look at this. Patrick Gruber's kind of just leading these guys behind him. They're just going as slow as they possibly can to catch this pace car. I think these guys are not feeling too confident about their fuel numbers.
No, right now, if I was in Seth Gruber's seat, I'd be very nervous right about now. It's a good idea to take your time to catch the pace car, but... you got to clutch it as much as you can.
Yeah, so let's keep an eye. It looks like no takers. Everybody's opting for track position here. So I think they think if we're going to run out, we're going to run out. That's not the way. We don't want to have to pit and lose that track position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back here to Bob Fitzgerald and see if he does indeed get the wave around. Because like I said, that 08 car, I'm sorry, looks awful clean here. I haven't seen anybody else jump around that pace car. And yep, here comes Bob. Looks like he is going to get that wave round. So we'll put Bob back onto the lead lap. Was currently in 23rd. We'll see if he can gain a few more spots. But not a lot of strategy here to talk about, Matt. So once again, we're going to step away for just a moment, and we will get things back to go here on that one to go. All right, so the lights are off on the pace car, and so for something that I don't think I have ever seen before, say we talk about teamwork here and teammates, but we got the 01 and the 02. I think that 01, I mean, we talked about fuel concerns. That 02 is pushing the 01 through here, through under the yellows past lapper, so I think just trying to let Patrick save absolutely as much fuel as humanly possible to give himself a standing chance to be able to make it to the end here. Again, this is the third and final attempt, so, and that's going to be the big question again. If these guys can make it, if we get a yellow, that could be a huge break here for that 01, because it looks like, just again, by how aggressively they're trying to save fuel here, I mean, to me, it seems like there's a good chance that he may not have the fuel to make it to the finish, or maybe what they're doing here is enough to break him into that window. So this is going to be one of those ones all bets are off. If they can get to that white flag, it's going to be, I think, who has the fuel in the tank to make it. And, I mean, I'm looking at our running order. I'm looking at who had how long of a pit stop, and I kind of would say JD Crow. I mean, he had about a 14-second pit stop at lap number 59, so I'd feel pretty good about the number 5 machine. Everybody else was in the 8-9 second range on their pit stops, so this is going to get very interesting here. So at some point, that 02 is going to have to unlatch off the 01, because he is supposed to be on the outside of row 1 here. So this is going to get wild here. So you can see they're starting to change running positions here now, as it's going to be Patrick Seth Gruber leading the field back to green. As the pace car is away, we'll see. Maybe they go a little early here to try to line themselves up on the inside lane. As green flag is out, and we are back underway again. Attempt number 3. So at this point, if there's the yellow, this race will be finished under yellow. So hopefully they can get this thing back to the white flag and race this thing on out. But this is going to be a big question mark. It's going to be that fuel window for some of these drivers here tonight.
Yeah, I'm very nervous for these guys up front. How are they going to make it on fuel? It's just hope and pray.
Yeah, this is going to be wild. So right now you got Michael Spell pushing the 02. You got the 23 pushing the 01. As you see, everybody's starting to jump around. You see their groovers. They get hooked back together on the inside line. The 01 in front of the 02. In front of the 88. We got a little bit of contact back there. They stay straight. We stay green. Again, they got to get to the start-finish line before anything would happen to bring out a yellow. If they can get to that white flag, we will race this thing to the completion. Right now, Sebastian Marin getting a great push from Jay Hilliard. As here comes Cody Nagels working with Robert Rock on the third lane. And they are going to get to the white flag just as these guys are rubbing fenders. We got one to go here. We'll see who can get to the line first. Who's got the fuel in the tank to make it to that start-finish line.
Oh, all bets are off right now.
So right now, Patrick's still leading Seth by leading that inside line. They've got a little margin over that 23 Sebastian Marin. And he's got the 78 of Donald Stewart all over his back bumper. Jay Hilliard leading that third lane as they come through 3 and 4 for the final time. Right now, still the Groovers leading on that inside lane. Again, the question mark is if you'll do either of them stumble. Michael Spell, a little bobble, gets into the side of Sebastian Marin, 5 around. But we stay green here again. They will race it out. We got contact in the back. They're wrecking on the inside. Michael Spell's going to peek through the inside here. The C's part for him. Michael Spell going to get his first Area 51 win tonight, Matt. In crazy fashion there. Cody Nagel's going to grab second. Donald Stewart third. And I believe, like I said, Matt, I think this is going to be a big win for Michael Spell. I think his first win in Area 51. One of the founding members here. This is going to be a huge victory for that number 88 tonight.
Wow. What a finish.
So we got to go back because that's like everything went off there at the very, very end here. Let's say, unfortunately, though, involving some of our front runners, the Groovers, just completely changes our running order there at the very end. But I'd say, pending any craziness at the end, let's say it looks like from what we're seeing here that Michael Spell is going to be our race winner here tonight at Talladega.
I am awfully curious if they ran out of fuel or I'm just kind of pondered that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We're going to go back and we're trying to find. We'll watch Michael Hilliard watch the celebration. We'll go back and take a look here. I think we have our answer here for Michael. Let's say he is ready to celebrate in that number 88 machine. So like I said, he has been one of the founding members with this Area 51 League. So to be able to get a win here tonight at Talladega is going to be one of the long awaited victories. So we're gonna watch him celebrate here. As you can see, I think he's got some friends, some fans there celebrating with him in that number 88. So Yeah, and like I said, we'll go back, we'll watch that result because that was wild there at the end.
I'm extremely jealous now. But that's a great win for Michael there on how hard he's worked just to try to go win in this series. It's quite tough against this competition.
I'm saying that
for
being
him,
said, he's got some pretty good burnout practice there because I'd say he was pretty much nailing that.
Oh yeah, I would just burn the fuel out of it until it ran out.
Yeah, so I think that's what's going to happen is a fuel or the motor. I'm not sure which is going to go first, but let's go back here. We're going to take a look to see exactly what happened here towards the closing laps there of this event here. Actually, we're going to go back a little further even. All right, so you see Todd Merkel. He gets into the rear of the 5 machine. That's what sends the 5 round of JD Crow, unfortunately. Come out. And then, yeah, we're looking towards the back here. Looking at the 01, the 02. Let me jump a little bit forward here. And yeah, Sebastian Marin gets into the back of the 02, and that actually catches the 01. That could be it, Matt. That 02 may have had a sputter. And then, I mean, just the seas completely part here for Michael. He's able to sneak on by. And it looks like, I mean, look at Cody Nagels here. He looks like he's in the catbird seat. But then the contact between the 59 and the 78, I believe that's going to send them into the 06 machine. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm reading things wrong. I'm sorry. Actually, it looks like Cody does hang on for that second place finish. I apologize for that. And then there's that battle for third between Donald Stewart and Jay Hilliard, saying Donald able to hold on to that third place position.
What I could be thinking here is I think it could be the push from when Donald Stewart was pushing Sebastian Marin, and then when the 02 got right in front of Sebastian, it kind of triggered an effect there. That would be my guess.
Well, it's very possible, and we'll probably be able to find out because we're going to be able to ask some of our drivers here tonight, and we're going to try to kick things off with Donald Stewart if he is around. Let me hunt down our chat here. And let's see, there's Donald. Let me grab him on in here. So we're going to pull in our third place finisher in that number 78 of Donald Stewart. All right, let's grab him over here. All right, Donald, so the first question we had was going to be fuel for a lot of these drivers, and it looks like it may have played an outcome there coming out of 4, coming to the checkered. But, man, I mean, first of all, I mean, to get to this point here, say started in the 27th position, jump up to 3rd. I mean, you had 42 starters tonight. I mean, how busy was it throughout the course of the race? Because, I mean, there was a lot of traffic. I mean, we saw a lot of miscues on pit road, especially in that first green flag pit stop. I mean, just take us through your race to get to that point to these final green-white checkered restarts here.
Yeah, I was just taking my time, I didn't want to get up to the front real quick. I wanted to stay in the back and see how the race, unfolded. And a couple of them pit stops there, I made some pretty good gains on some people. So once I got up front, I said, well, I might as well just try to stay up here. And then all them cautions came out, and that helped me on that last pit stop. I don't know if I could have kept with those guys on that very last one, but that caution came out and kind of saved my skin right there.
So the next question is on the fuel mileage, because, I mean, we saw some drivers, I mean, they were doing everything to save any ounce of fuel they could there at the very end. How good to the end were you on fuel? Was there any concerns, or did you have plenty in the tank to make it there to the end?
I had plenty. I pitted on that last chance I got there. I had about 3.5 gallons in my tank, so I don't know why Patrick and all them didn't have enough fuel.
Yeah,
is that what happened? He ran out of fuel up there?
I'm not sure. So we'll see if we can ask. I think Cody was with them. We're gonna talk to Cody next after you. So I'll say we'll see if we can get some insider info there. But I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, based on what we saw during that caution with them just running the apron, kind of even pushing each other to try to save fuel. I mean, it kind of had that feel of being a fuel situation. But then, of course, getting through that wreck there through 3 and 4, I mean, everybody was pushing and shoving. I say you had the contact just to the outs or just to the inside of you with that 5 and the 2 getting together. So I'm not even sure if you were aware of that contact. Then you're right behind the 23 and the O2, and they made contact as well. I mean, how wild is it for you to try to find your way through some of that stuff to even just get a chance to run to the start finish line there?
Well, it's pretty wild there at the end, man. You really can't lift, but you don't want to spin the guy in front of you either. So you got to really be on them, and you got to really be steady on that steering wheel to try not to hook them. But I was just lucky, man. When them guys wrecked it in, and I went low, and luckily a couple of other guys went lower than I did, and we just happened to go around it. So we got pretty lucky there.
Well, I mean, sometimes like we always joke about, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. I think you had a little bit of everything tonight, Donald. I mean, just awesome job to get that top three here tonight. So before we let you go, definitely want to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for your top three result here tonight.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate Michael Spell as a well-earned win, that's for sure there. And you guys broadcasting is awesome. I love listening to you guys at work. And Area 51, them guys are awesome league and awesome bunch of drivers. We had some awesome three wide there for a while, 4 or 5 deep. So it shows the caliber of the drivers, not just those last few green white checkers.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Matt and I were talking about. These guys running 3x3 about 6-7 rows deep there for a good chunk of the race, and it was definitely an exciting one here again tonight. So yeah, definitely congrats, Donald, to get there and get yourself in contention for another win. It was a lot of fun watching you battle it out there, and like I say, just a little bit short, but still to get through there and be in that position is a great job tonight. So definitely enjoyed this one, man, and look forward to seeing you again here soon.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, that is the number 78 of Donald Stewart. And then we got to jump over to our second place finisher in that number 06 of Cody Nagels. And so we're going to have a couple things, I think, to bug Cody about. I mean, first of which was just keeping yourself in contention there at the end. I mean, so you had to kind of pick up that third lane and really make some big moves to get back towards the front there, kind of drop back a couple of times where you try to pick up that third lane, and it seemed like you kind of get hung out there, but then able to finally get that big push you needed to at the end and get yourself in contention. We saw the fuel concerns for the O1 and the O2 seemed like they were a little bit on the tight side. Was that a concern for you, or were you still had plenty in the tank to make it to the end with those 3 attempts?
I had just enough. I think I finished with like a half gallon. I had nightmares of what happened on the Thursday fuel, so didn't want to make the same. Glad that I chose the route of taking on a little bit more fuel. I don't know. And there at the end, I think the Groovers had enough to make it to the end. I think one of them just got a little bit took a bump, just like a push. I really haven't had time to look over it, but pretty thankful to and all that. I got hung out. Vicente, one of my teammates, he got caught up in a wreck and just kind of a bad luck night for him. BK, he's been battling a little bit of health issues with having a seizure, so he's not with us right now. Yeah. So I was kind of running by myself. I'm aligned with the Groovers too, so I was kind of working with them a little bit towards the end of the race. But my thoughts and prayers are with BK for a fast recovery. It's kind of running without teammates is extremely difficult out here, so I'm thankful to come out with a second place finish.
Yeah, no, you're definitely spot on there, and yeah, definitely sharing your sentiments there. So yeah, I've seen BK in the chat here and there. So yeah, I wasn't aware of everything going on. So yeah, if you're still watching, BK, definitely thinking of you, and yeah, I definitely hope to see you back soon, and like I said, hopefully a quick and full recovery. So yeah, I definitely appreciate you bringing that to our attention too, Cody, because yeah, I say BK definitely one of a good fixture in the league here with a great racer with these guys and a great person altogether as well.
Yep. And also, I just want to give a quick shout out to you guys for the broadcast. And I guess while I got the floor, I just want to say my thoughts and prayers are also to everyone. It's battling with Ukraine right now. I just want to thank our veterans and military personnel for fighting to keep our freedoms each and every day, because freedom is not free, and we're seeing, I think, exactly the ugly side of life. So my thoughts and prayers are out to anyone that helped defend our country and the people of Ukraine We just need peace in this country, so hopefully everything gets lined out quickly.
Yeah, definitely no disagreements. Yeah, aside the fact that we're able to enjoy ourselves and be able to do something like this in our spare times. I mean, it's definitely, I think we take a lot of that for granted from time to time. So, yeah, I definitely echo your sentiments there, Cody. But yeah, just awesome job though tonight. Like you said, and this thing is like the fact that we're able to distract yourselves and do these things and have some fun. So. But yeah, like I said, able to get through, get a good result with maybe not the full plethora of the teammates that some of these other guys are able to pull off. But so you keep putting yourself in these positions. I say, I think Matt, you were one of those that was kind of earmarking Cody for getting a win here soon. So
yes,
he was right there. So he just needed a little bit more of a break. But I say it looks like it's only going to be a matter of time before we see you up front here and get that number 1 spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the win will come, like you said. It's just putting yourself in the right positions, and I try to do that. And I'm learning of like trying to not put myself in a position that may get me involved in a wreck. So it's kind of anticipating the potential wrecks and trying to avoid them, which has been the biggest development piece for me. So moving forward, I'm going to keep an eye on the wrecks developing potential restarts, the pushes, and just put myself in what I consider the safest spot on the track if I can. If I keep doing that, I with the win.
Yep, exactly. I mean, and that's really what it is. Is like the more, every time you put yourself in that opportunity, at some point it's going to break through, and you'll be able to grab that win. So, I say it sounds like you've got the definite game plan on your shoulders there. So, just hats off tonight, Cody. It's like I said, a great job to recover and get yourself back up there in contention and be able to get through there with a second place run tonight. Like I said, it's only a matter of time, I think, before we see you in victory lane. So enjoy this one, and I look forward to seeing you here soon.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay, Cody.
All right, Matt, we're going to have to chat with a very happy driver here tonight. I think this is going to be, as a whole, I'd say this is going to be probably a pretty popular win over the course of the league, and that is going to be the number 88 of Michael Spell. Say one of the OGs of Area 51, if you will. And man, Michael, I'd say you put yourself in contention here tonight. We've seen you in contention a lot of times too, but this time the C's parted there. You see the contact in front of you. Those guys go straight to the right, and you see nothing but clean track in front of you. I mean, take us through that final lap, that final restart, and then once you see that clean air in front of you, knowing that checkered flag's inside. I mean, just how wild was that for you to get that opportunity there?
Yeah, man, that was crazy. I mean, on that restart, I was afraid that I think it was either Seth or Patrick. I think it was Seth that was running low on fuel, and I was like, God, I hope he doesn't run out right in front of me. But yeah, I mean, so many times I've been right where I was running and finished there or got wrecked coming to the line or something, and it's like, God, eventually it's got to pan out for me. And yeah, they started wrecking, and I came on the Discord channel, and I was like, holy crap, I wasn't saying crap. Holy crap. I couldn't believe it. And then I looked around, I was like, please tell me nobody's going to pass me at the line. But yeah, that's a huge monkey off my back. I didn't know when it was ever going to come, but I mean, it's just, you just got to keep putting yourself up there in the position, and eventually, it's going to happen.
It's got to, I haven't got my first super speedway win. I know how hard it is, especially with this competition. It's a really good feeling to finally get that monkey off your back. I'm sure the chat, the Discord chat in there with you was able to celebrate with you. It's like I said, hats off to you. You did an awesome job all race long.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, it was a great race, and it's awesome because I know my dad's watching. So,
yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing there, Michael. Because I say, with him supporting you for so long and everything that so that he went through, and then but still watching you like at the hospital and everything like that. My brain was going there too. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but definitely a huge accomplishment. And yeah, I say definitely he was still watching. And
I know he's happy. So it makes it all worth it. But yeah, it's been a long, frustrating ride. And yeah, you're right, Matt. I mean, the competition in this league is just so stiff. It's just like it's just next to impossible to get up there and win. And then you got teammates working together. And if you don't have your teammates up there with you, then it makes it even that much more difficult, of course. So
I know all about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of times, you'll jump out in the lane or something. Nobody will follow you because they're not your teammates. And it just gets frustrating. But yeah, it just, everything lined up for me tonight, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm saying, and unfortunately, it's one of those things where the difficulties and just the timing. I mean, it just makes you enjoy it that much more. And I'm saying you can definitely take some enjoyment in knowing that it's like, okay, yeah, it wasn't like a half field things. Like there were 42 drivers here tonight, Michael. So I mean, this was a stacked field this evening, but you're able to pull off the win. I mean, like I said, it's hard to not be biased. I say Matt and I definitely are pretty pumped to see you get the win here tonight. Just awesome job here. I say we don't want to keep you too long because we want to let you enjoy it and celebrate. But before we let you go and do all that, we got to give you the floor though, and definitely want to give you opportunity for thanks and shouts for getting that win here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, big shout out to you guys, first of all, for doing what you do race after race. I mean, I know it's a lot of work, and I know that there's a lot of times where you guys rather be out there racing than doing the broadcast, and big shout out to you. And then, of course, the area, everybody in Area 51, all the other admins, and to Charles for, all the money and time that he's put into this thing to keep us going for as long as we have. It's, best league out there as far as I know. I mean, I don't think it can get any better. I mean, just a great bunch of guys. I know that from racing with, talk about the talent level here. It makes you better, and it's definitely made me a better driver. So yeah, just big shout out Area 51 and you guys, and just thanks for everything that you do. And I'm gonna go party, man.
Beers on me, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I say Taco Bell's open late, so I say go get some tacos and some Baja Blast and party hard here, Michael.
Hey, have a good one, guys. Thanks, man.
All right, Matt, that is our race winner in that number 88 of Michael Spell. Like I said, getting that long-awaited first victory here tonight, and I mean that's the thing is it's just you don't know, and the talent level in this league. I mean, it's just grown and grown, and everybody else has had to step up their game. And I say it's not just here; it's on the next gen side on Mondays, the Indy side on Tuesday nights. I mean, there's a lot of talent in this league. And it's really cool to see. Like I said, especially we love first time winners. Saying this is one of, like I said, a first time winner that has been with the league from the get go. So really good to see him get that break and get that big breakthrough with that first time win here tonight.
Yeah, that would be our third or fourth first time winner in the Super Speedway series. That is incredible. How much this league has grown. Every week we're getting like almost a stack field, and these guys here are fun to race with, fun to talk with pre-race. I can't find a better league to chat with these guys and just enjoy and have a good time.
Yeah, exactly right. I say it's definitely a lot of fun being able to do this. And saying, like I said, these guys a lot of these guys building friendships that'll last for who knows how long. I mean, I know I've made a good group of guys I just enjoy hanging out with. Like you said, just chatting before the race about anything and everything. So it's a lot of fun to be a part of this. And Matt, definitely got to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be able to share the broadcast with me here on Sundays. I know you've got a lot on your plate between the admin life and real life and racing as well. So yeah, it's definitely a pleasure to be able to do this with you as well, man.
Hey, I appreciate you. Me doing all these assessments pre-race, it's not very enjoyable.
And of course, as always, really got to thank everybody that watches and supports us here on Green White Checker TV. So we had a lot of chatters in the broadcast tonight. Really appreciate you all. Say, unfortunately, I know the driver you guys are all banking on, rooting on, didn't have the result he wanted. But I say, well, don't hesitate to say, he's going to be back after it here as well. So hope you all had a wonderful evening. Hope you all have a good weekend as well. And I say we'll get back to reality here on Monday. Until then, though, hope you all again have a good night, and we will see you back on Tuesday night with Area 51 for the Indy Series on GWC TV. And of course, Monday night, though, Next Gen's at Max Speed TV. So until then, have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. Until next time, have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.